Good afternoon, everyone. As Alan just mentioned, I'm Connie Mathisen. I'm the Director for International Business Development at ADS. I would assume most of you are familiar with ADS, but if you're not, we are the UK Trade Association representing just over 1,300 members across the aerospace, defence, security and space sectors. I head up our international business development function. Some of my colleagues are on the line supporting our members in their international priorities, focused on business development, but also ensuring the right policy advocacy around the world. We're very happy to be hosting this webinar today. Alan, if you want to jump to the next slide. Alongside our partners in UK government, so Department for Business and Trade, UK Defence Security Exports, and also Istanbul Economics, Pedersen and Herdem attorneys at law. This showcases what we as ADS often like to pull together across the international business development piece with key partners in providing opportunities, not just for our membership, but also for international industry and potential partners for all of us across the world. Next slide, please, Alan. I'll run through the agenda really quick for everyone. So as you can see, we have a pretty full agenda today. Quick introductions from me, and I'll hand over in a minute to some more interesting people who will walk you through quite a lot of interesting topics. So we will have UK-Turkey defence security relations, a UK perspective from Lord Walney, and then we will have a UK-Turkey defence and security relation from a Turkey perspective from Ambassador Tacan ILDEM. We will then move on to some topics from our colleagues across UK government, the British Embassy in Ankara, and UK Defence Security Exports here in London. And then we will be hearing from Safak, Herdem, from Herdem attorneys. We will also go through the Saha exhibition opportunities, and then we will lead into a Q&A. So I will just double check if we got Lord Walney on the line. I think we might be waiting still. Alan, can you confirm? I can't see.
I can't see him either at the moment, to be fair.
He may be a couple of minutes late.
A couple of minutes late. So it might be worth if the Ambassador Tacan kicks off, Connie.
Yeah, so I was just trying to see if we had the ambassador on the line as well.
Yeah, yes, I'm here.
Perfect. Well, if you're happy, would you like to start us off then?
Sure, with great pleasure.
Thank you.
First of all, it is a great pleasure for me to be here today with you virtually. It is an important topic that we are going to discuss, how we can boost UK-Türkiye defense security relations. A topic also dear to my mind and heart, because I have authored a number of articles together with my colleague Ambassador Fatih Ceylan, which was published in European Leadership Network website. And we, early 2000s, were trying to shed some light as to how this cooperation could be elevated to a new level. And what we see now is that it is immediately after the NATO Washington summit meeting. I was there to attend the NATO Public Forum and these discussions were giving us a strong sense that NATO remains a strong point of reference for both the United Kingdom and Turkey for their defense priorities. Regarding the very nature of our relationship, we can recall that in 2011, both sides signed an agreement. They initiated the strategic partnership. We have been advocating that since a decade had passed, there was a strong reason to revisit this agreement in order to bring new substance to this arrangement, which would serve to the security concerns and interests of both countries. Although there is a new Labour government in the United Kingdom, and it is perhaps quite early at this stage to speculate on the priorities of the new government. But in any case, the interests of the United Kingdom have not changed. And when we look at the Washington Declaration of the NATO summit that the new government took part in the deliberations and in the deliverables, they also coincide with those documents which were prepared prior to the assumption of duties of the new government, namely the integrated review of 2021, integrated review revision of 2023, and also defending Britain 2024. And I think these documents clearly give us a sense that the United Kingdom after Brexit, although NATO and Euro-Atlantic area is a priority, still with the strategic competition felt in international relations, it also requires strengthening certain partnerships and which will be serving to the interests of the United Kingdom. Now, both United Kingdom and Turkey are important members of NATO. The United Kingdom is known with its capabilities, being a nuclear power, a permanent member of the UN Security Council, a founding member of NATO. The strength of its naval and air forces, as well as its expeditionary and superior intelligence capabilities, have been acknowledged by its allies. And when we look at Turkey, it remains a bastion of stability in a volatile region, thanks to its expanding military capabilities and the credible security guarantees that NATO provides. It has the second biggest army in the alliance, increasingly more capable air and naval forces, flourishing defense industry. And this we will be discussing during this afternoon. The assets and capabilities of the UK and Turkey are highly complementary. Opportunities exist to give more substance to the strategic partnership initiative that I referred to, which was brought about in 2010. And this would align with the post-Brexit policies of the UK, designed to explore new partnerships. Now, when we look to different possible areas that could be focused by both governments in the coming days and months. What I see is perhaps taking the very recent statement of intent on defense cooperation between Turkey and the United Kingdom, which was signed in November 2023. This could also make a contribution to the reflections as to how 2011 agreement could be expanded, given the complex and evolving security environment that we are in. One possibility is to harmonize efforts to mitigate against challenges the digital space poses. So increased cooperation could be established in the form of joint center of excellence to counter hybrid and cyber threats. Another would be to establish a permanent institutional structure of cooperation on emerging and disruptive technologies, such as AI, quantum computing, nanotechnology, space and cyberspace, and robotics. These are key areas that both sides could join forces in expanding their cooperation. And when we look at those possibilities, it could also provide for increased cooperation between aerospace agencies, including particularly in exploring avenues of active cooperation for the 6th generation aircraft to make Turkey a stakeholder in the Tempest project. This is one possibility that could be explored. Another would be to launch joint endeavors for improving drone and anti-drone capacity, including cooperation in other unmanned ground and sea vehicles and hypersonic systems. One other possibility is to seek to advance cooperation in maritime security and cooperation of naval assets. Continuous sharing of best practices gained in expeditionary missions in a structured manner would be useful for both sides. And talking about consultations, strengthened consultations on future challenges and opportunities emanating from Indo-Pacific region, and deepening consultations on Middle East and North Africa, Balkans and Caucasus regions would be useful. Close collaboration between both countries' defense industries, joint training and exercises, exploration of security support around North Africa and the Middle East would be yet another area of cooperation. I should also emphasize the importance of both countries to be non-EU allies. After Brexit, non-EU ally status is with the United Kingdom, like Turkey. And we know that developing capabilities is of utmost importance. And the European Union is trying its best to strengthen its capacity to create capabilities. But sometimes they don't do things in a strategic manner. And I recall my former boss, Jens Stoltenberg, the NATO Secretary General, always reminding within the context of NATO-EU cooperation that 80% of defense spending and capabilities are coming from non-EU allies. That's why in order to make NATO-EU cooperation a strategic partnership, the fullest possible involvement of non-EU allies is a must. And it is a long-due promise which has not so far been delivered. And I think if the UK and Turkey could create synergies with initiatives to make sure that the European Union involves both countries in different defense initiatives, including PESCO and European Defence Fund, then it would also contribute to NATO-EU cooperation, but also EU's objective to create capabilities themselves. And I think the United Kingdom is well placed to flag these issues in its engagement with the European Union. And Turkey would be ready and willing to take part in all relevant schemes, consultations, and projects that would boost security and defense of Europe in that respect. These are my initial remarks. Of course, during the Q&A, we can expand it. Yesterday, I was very excited watching the Euro 2024 Championship final. You are the runner-up, perhaps less than your expectations, but I would like to congratulate you for the most successful performance of the team. And to be the second is not bad at all. So once again, congratulations for this successful outcome.
Thank you, Ambassador. Very much appreciated. Have we got Lord Walney on the line now for his presentation?
You do, and many apologies. Many apologies for the delay in coming on. Thanks for bearing with me and being flexible, Ambassador. It was really good to kick off with those remarks, and I will take your congratulations. I'm sure with the sincerity which they were intended as we lick our wounds today. Thank you. I just want to thank ADS, Pedersen, the Department for Business and Trade, and our Turkish partners, Istanbul Economics, Herdem, and Saha Expo, for organising this important webinar, which comes as a crucial time in the UK as the new Labour government begins to bed in and set out its priorities. For those who may not know me, my name's John Woodcock, Lord Walney in the British House of Lords. I served as a Labour government advisor in Downing Street as the political spokesman to then Prime Minister Gordon Brown, and as an advisor at the Department for Business as it was then constituted the last time Labour was in government. And I spent nearly a decade as a Labour Member of Parliament for Bowen-Furness, which is the home of the Royal Navy's submarine fleet, and I now sit as a crossbench peer in the House of Lords. Made a number of official visits to Turkey during my time, meeting a range of senior ministers, members of parliament, and members of your civil society, and I have had the privilege of dealing with Turkey-related matters while serving on the House of Commons Defence Committee and as chair of Labour's Backbench Foreign Affairs Committee during my time in the Commons. Over recent years, I've been the UK government's independent advisor on political violence, exploring the threat of extremism, which of course we share between our countries. However, I speak at this event in my capacity, in the capacity of my role as a member of the House of Lords and as a senior advisor to Pedersen, who have worked with ADS and other partners to bring this event together, and therefore I need to make clear I'm speaking from a personal perspective and not as a government representative. Turkey is an essential partner to the UK in so many ways. Firstly, the country as a NATO ally and has been since 1952, as the ambassador made clear. Crucially, one of the, as he said, one of the few NATO allies that, like the UK, is not a member of the European Union. And I'm hopeful that this can give us an important shared perspective as the whole of the NATO and European community look ahead to the next era of interlocked and interdependent defence cooperation, which we now want to embrace both within NATO and across the continent of Europe. We recognise Turkey's influence as the gatekeeper to the Black Sea, enabling the export of millions of tons of Ukrainian grain, which plays an essential role in the global food economy and Ukraine's own economy and recovery perspectives. We also recognise Turkey's support to Ukraine's defence, including the provision of drones, keeping Turkish straits closed to warships, and denying overflight rights to damaged Russian warplanes directed at Syria. These are vital contributions to ensuring Ukraine wins this war. In November last year, of course, Turkey and the UK signed the Statement of Intent on Defence Cooperation, which will provide the framework for closer working to deliver additional activities that will benefit the security and prosperity of both countries, and in doing so can enhance our national, regional and international security. This includes closer collaboration between both countries' defence industries, the identification of possible joint training exercises in the Mediterranean, and the exploration of security support around North Africa and the Middle East. Turkey, of course, has profound ties to its Middle Eastern neighbours, and like the UK, is a country which we recognise seeks to play a vital stabilising role in the region. We place great value on our partnership on counter-terrorism and illegal smuggling. For instance, the UK and Turkey have come together to manage and address the Syrian refugee crisis and associated security risks stemming from this. Moreover, the UK government recently struck a deal with Turkey to disrupt people smuggling gangs and tackle illegal migration. This partnership involves a centre of excellence in Turkey that will, amongst other things, increase intelligence sharing between enforcement agencies. This builds on an existing arrangement which saw the UK Home Office in recent years provide over £3 million in funding to Turkish borders to help block a common route for migrants to reach the UK. From an economic and trading perspective, since Brexit, Turkey and the United Kingdom agreed an FTA which aimed to roll over and enhance the trading agreement with the EU. The Department for Business and Trade also recently launched negotiations for a new FTA with Turkey with a review to upgrading the current one. We have a strong, vibrant Turkish diaspora in the UK with an estimated 500,000 people, mainly based in London and other large cities. Of course, on occasion in recent years, we have had different perspectives on important geostrategic issues. I hope the change of government in the UK will offer us a fresh opportunity to explore shared understanding as we renew our partnership and face down common threats to our cherished way of life and our values. The constructive way we work through disagreements together is testament to the enduring strength of our security partnership and our deep friendship. Under our new government, I'm delighted to be able to say with confidence that the UK will continue to support and invest in our alliance with Turkey, opening up new opportunities for the British defence and security industry represented here today to support Turkey's defence requirements, enhancing our mutual prosperity and security yet further. Thanks. I'm really looking forward to this discussion.
Thank you, Lordship. Very much appreciated. We're now moving on to Berrak, who's the Senior Trade Manager at the British Embassy in Ankara.
Thank you, Alan. Distinguished participants, good afternoon. I work as Senior Trade Manager at British Embassy Ankara. I'm responsible for defense and security sector as part of UK Department for Business and Trade team at the embassy. My role is to support UK defense industry exports in Turkey, supporting government-to-government engagements, fostering partnerships to increase UK-Turkey defense industry trade and cooperation. My speech today will be also related to my current role at the embassy. I would like to provide an overview of the current defense market and dynamics in Turkey, how defense procurement work, priority projects and potential business models for UK-Turkish industry to work together. And at the end, I will mention how we as British Embassy Ankara can help your business in Turkey. Turkish defense industry evolution and dynamics is quite unique and a success story when we look at the achievements during a relatively short time period. Turkey's defense industry has expanded significantly over the last 2 decades. 4 Turkish businesses now feature among the world's top 100 largest defense firms. As of 2023, Turkey is the world's 11th largest exporter of defense products. UAVs became the leading export product, followed by aircraft systems and components, military vehicles, naval platforms, missiles, and electronics, and increasingly acquires indigenous equipment and has very ambitious self-sufficiency targets, while at the same time still actively works with international partners, imports subsystems and components for manufacturing. So to understand the market dynamics and how defense procurement work, it's important to highlight the role of the Secretary of Defense Industries, which is called SSB and known as SSB in Turkey. It is under Turkish presidency. SSB is in charge of defense procurement, and with this aspect, it is the equivalent body of DENS, Defense Equipment and Support in UK. But SSB in Turkey is doing much more than defense procurement. It is also supporting Turkish defense industry exports actively, initiates G2G defense industry cooperation agreements, shareholder of some of the major defense companies like Turkish Aerospace Industries and STM and others, and backs formation of new defense companies based on the requirements. So it's the main driver and strategy setter behind the Turkish defense industry structure. For any company who wants to engage defense business in Turkey, starting point can be understanding this government body's SSB's policies, priorities, and projects. And also SSB is managing defense projects approved by Turkish Defense Industry Executive Committee, which is the highest decision-making authority in defense procurement. Understanding the offset and technology transfer policies of SSB is again an important aspect for foreign companies to determine their strategies in this market in Turkey. And foreign companies are in most cases expected to work under a Turkish prime company in SSB's projects. And I would like to name a few of those prime companies in Turkey based on different sectors. So Aselsan, Roketsan, Havelsan, Turkish Aerospace Industries, and STM are the major companies with state shareholderships and acting as prime contractors. And in addition to them, there are a good number of private companies. Turkey has a very well-developed platform manufacturing companies in land, naval, and air sector. In land sector, main players are FNSS, Otokar, BMC, Nurol Makina. And these companies design and manufacture wheeled and tracked armored vehicles and turret systems. And they are not only responding to Turkish Armed Forces requirements, but also quite active in export markets. And you should be familiar to these companies as they are also very active in international exhibitions. To mention Turkey's priority land sector projects, just a couple of them. Altay main battle tank is the major flagship indigenous program, which is carried out by BMC company. And another large program that is under planning process for this year is New Generation Armored Vehicle Program, where SSB is planning to buy a good number of armored vehicles in different configurations. And prime contractors will be again Turkish ground vehicle manufacturer companies. But for UK companies, there may be opportunities at subsystem level. And as embassy, we can facilitate UK companies' contacts with Turkish industry for this program. It's also worth to follow these manufacturers' export activities and develop relations to take part in their supply chains. UK's power pack solutions, engine and transmission systems are good examples of solutions for Turkish military vehicles. And in naval sector, Turkey has important number of shipyards operating both in naval and in civil maritime sectors with significant capabilities. And Turkey's Secretary of Defense Industries has announced in a press release after Turkish Defense Industry Executive Committee meeting early this year, a good number of naval programs launched, and including initiation of the design phase for an aircraft carrier as part of military ship projects, construction of further frigates, maritime patrol boats, new type landing crafts, mine hunting vessels. And although general policy is to meet most of the critical requirements of these ships locally, subsystem level opportunities may exist, and that can be identified by talking to Turkish shipyards who are leading each projects. We must clarify here that although there is a strong ambitions for local production, Turkish defense industry, as well as the government body, Turkish Secretary of Defense Industries, are quite active in developing international cooperation and partnerships to find mutually lucrative business models. They just don't want to be seen as only a market for only off-the-shelf product sales. If you approach them with partnership model of working, they are keen to find ways to do that. And benefits of working with Turkish companies can be said like young engineering workforce of Turkish industry provides good opportunity for skills shortages in this high-tech sector, and the cost of development in Turkey is still advantageous. Turkish industry gained experience with feedback from Turkish Army. There are combat-proven products. And also its geographical location and proximity to main defense markets makes Turkey advantageous for MRO type of activities. And as the level of platform manufacturing has good maturity, Turkey also exports these platforms, which create subsystem level opportunities for UK industry in these platforms. UK industry can work with them as technology provider. To mention a couple of technology areas where UK companies can add value. While Turkish industry has made progress in developing indigenous engines, it may still need to import certain engines and propulsion systems for specific platforms. And the UK is, as you know, global center of excellence for the design and production of engines. And Turkey has made important progress in radar technology, but certain specialized radar components may still need to be imported. Advanced electronics, avionics, advanced materials are also other areas where UK industry may offer technologies to Turkish customers. We can also say that there is a growing industrial collaboration between UK and Turkish industry, and we are pleased to see that it's diversified in both export and investment opportunities. We see increasing Turkish companies' interest in UK markets. And my colleague Dominic Guinness will also talk about the investment aspect in the next presentation. And UK's largest defense companies, both Rolls-Royce and BAE Systems, have offices in Turkey for a very long time, and they are keen to extend their scope of activities in Turkish markets. As you all know, there was a NATO summit last week, and UK is one of the top 3 largest defense spender in NATO, and Turkey has the 2nd largest army of NATO. And 2 countries can work together to overcome the challenges of defense sector, which require large-scale investments, finance, as well as talent and high engineering skills. There is a great potential to be exploited in terms of defense industrial cooperation between 2 countries, not only to help grow the business and trade volume between 2 countries, but also at NATO level. NATO procurement agencies, NCIA and NSPA tenders are also an area where Turkish and UK companies can work together, create partnerships, consortiums. And I would like to also say a few words how, as British Embassy Trade Department in Ankara, we can help. In Turkish market for UK companies, we offer expertise and contacts through our extensive network in the country. Turkish companies in this call can also reach us if they would like to find a particular technology in UK or to partner with a UK company. And for third markets, 2 countries can leverage each other's diplomatic and trade connections in joint export campaigns. UK Department for Business and Trade has representatives at British embassies worldwide, and Türkiye has also proactive international support mechanisms. Türkiye has defense industry cooperation agreements with many countries worldwide and shows big presence in international defense fairs. Similarly, the UK's government body Defense and Security Exports, DSE, does. And in front of us, there is Farnborough Air Show in London next week, where Türkiye again will have a large presence. And finally, as a trade team at British Embassy Ankara, we are here to facilitate business relations, and please feel free to contact us. And thank you again for ADS and all other contributing organizations today, and as well as the audience from both countries. Thank you.
And thank you for your time as well, much appreciated. Now moving on to Dominic Guinness from UK DSE. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can I just check that everyone can hear me? Just want to check, do a quick sound check, somebody.
Loud and clear, thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dominic Guinness. I am I work within the Department for Business and Trade here in London, where I'm the Deputy Head of Operations for the UK Defence and Security Exports team. And with specific responsibility for the strategic relationships with the major companies, but also inward investment from outside the UK into the UK in this particular sector. So my team's role is very much global. It's with the aim of encouraging and supporting defence and security companies to invest and grow here in the UK. We work very closely with our colleagues in the British Embassy in Ankara, who you've just heard from, to promote the UK as the place to come and grow. And we want you to then consider also exporting from here in due course. Just to follow on that, a little bit of background on UK DSE, UK Defence and Security Exports, the team which I'm part of here. We're a team of civil servants supported by a team of serving military officers with a specific aim of supporting defence and security exports. We support UK-based defence and security companies to export around the world, leveraging the support of our colleagues in that wide network of British embassies. If you are operating in this sector, you'll appreciate that government support is a key to success as we are selling to other governments, which is, I think, the longer that we just sell to other governments, the better. In terms of investing in the UK, though, our main role is to help you as overseas-based companies to understand the opportunities and pitfalls, especially when establishing an overseas location, perhaps for the very first time. We appreciate and know that this is a process which is full of risk as you enter a new geographic market where potentially almost everything is different. There are risks that have time and cost impacts if you get it wrong. Just to name a few, obviously a different language, the business culture, all the different regulations, local politics, access to financial services, and most important of all, maybe the first question of all is, where do I go? So whereabouts in the UK should I be setting up that operation? And that's probably for many people, the first thought often is London. I think is probably, for Turkish perspective, it's like setting up in Istanbul. So that's the most expensive and most probably the last location that you might want to be considering. So we can help you understand based on your specific needs, and we do that by engaging with you and understanding specific requirements, the sector you're particularly interested in, the specific subsector you're particularly interested in, as to where the best location in the UK, where are other companies like yours based, which one of the most important of all is where the people and the skills that you require for that investment are most likely to be based. Now, the defence and security sector in the UK is a large one. It employs about 300,000 people with an annual turnover about 45 billion pounds. The UK defence budget is at 2.3% of our gross domestic product, is the second largest in NATO still, though the Germans, with their recent announcement of the investment, are maybe about to overtake us. Our government has declared that intent to increase to 2.5% of GDP, so continuing to grow that defence budget when the economic conditions allow. We have a very strong presence with all the major defence and aerospace prime companies here, as well as many of the major tier 1 companies too. Outside of British Aerospace, BAE, the likes of Thales, Leonardo, Raytheon, General Dynamics, Saab, Rheinmetall, Boeing, all have manufacturing sites here in the UK. And on top of that, there are about another 5,000 SMEs here within the sector or connected to the sector. So if you come here, you'll be joining quite a thriving ecosystem of companies to work with and talk to. As that list of names suggests, there are opportunities for overseas companies in the UK in this sector. Unlike most other countries in the world, the UK government does not operate a formal offset policy, which Berrak was describing, that does operate clearly in Turkey for defence programmes. There is no buy British policy, except for a very few where the national sovereignty concerns make it a requirement. The UK MOD is open to sourcing products and services from non-UK companies, and there is a presence in some of our more strategic programmes. The likes of Rheinmetall from Germany are in the process of upgrading the British Army's main battle tanks, and with Krauss-Maffei, they are building in the UK the British Army's new fleet of Boxer 8x8 armour personnel carriers. L3 Harris, again from the US, supply and support the RAF's Rivet Joint Signals Intelligence aircraft, and Leonardo, obviously from Italy, build many of the Army and Navy's helicopters, and also is the major provider of things like radar systems for the RAF aircraft. I think the point hopefully I've made here is that within reason, the UK defence and security market is open to competition. Though having said that, more recently, under the previous government, who announced the integrated procurement policy in April this year, there is a greater emphasis now on considering the prospect for exports on any programme. And I think that was likely to continue with the new government, with their emphasis on growth, economic growth. That policy is for the first time, when they are considering new programmes, new acquisitions, they are telling the Ministry of Defence has to consider the opportunity of exports from the UK. So there'll be seeking greater involvement from the UK in supply chain and potentially, hopefully, overall manufacturing. Longer term, you might wish to consider doing research and development here in the UK, and the UK has a long and very successful history of leading research. We are home to 160 universities spread across all four nations of the UK, of which 4 of them are in the top 10 globally. Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial, and University College London. But many are also recognised as world leaders in specific fields. For example, which are the University of Lancaster for cyber, the University of Nottingham for navigation, and Bristol, Edinburgh, and Southampton for autonomy, to give you some examples of particular interest for the defence and security sector. So there's plenty of opportunity and scope to find the right team to work with if you are looking at research. So can I finish by thanking you for your time and attention, and my team and I look forward to speaking and engaging with you along with colleagues in the embassy in Ankara and Istanbul to help you with the ideas and plans that you might have when thinking about coming to grow here in the UK. I will be at Farnborough Show next week, and also looking forward to coming out to Istanbul for the Saha Expo later on in the autumn, and we'd be delighted to meet and continue this conversation at those times. Last, and by no means least, for those of running businesses, you'll appreciate that as well. Please remember that all the support that we provide is free. So can I finish that and take any questions? Probably, I think I'm going to do questions at the end, I think. Thank you.
We are indeed, Dominic. Thanks very much for your time. Much appreciated also. Now moving on to Safak from Herdem Attorneys. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alan. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Safak Herdem, the managing partner at Herdem Attorneys at Law, based in Istanbul. Our firm specializes in international trade with a focus on aerospace and defense and export control laws. We represent a wide range of clients, including major multinational defense and aerospace companies from the US, Latin America, and Europe. We also advise on various international trade issues and actively participate in military offset projects in Turkey, which is a crucial aspect for today's discussion on Turkey and the UK defense cooperation. It's my privilege to discuss the dynamics of Turkey's defense relations with the UK, particularly regarding Turkey's current policy environment in international defense contracts. If we discuss the defense cooperation between Turkey and UK, I believe that navigating these complex legal terrains requires assessing the interdependencies between our nations, with particular attention to compliance with export control regulations, which heavily influence the operational and strategic decisions during contract negotiations. Turkey's current policy environment in international defense contracts is characterized by a strategic push towards self-reliance and diversification. Over the past decades, Turkey has significantly ramped up its defense production capabilities, aiming to reduce dependency on foreign suppliers and bolster its own defense industry. This shift was driven by historical events such as the 1974 arms embargo by the United States, which highlighted the vulnerabilities of relying heavily on external sources for military needs. Today, Turkey is the world's 14th largest defense exporter, reflecting its substantial progress. However, as you must know, that the Defense Industry Agency, SSP, under civilian oversight, plays a crucial role in brokering government-to-government deals and managing the flow of military technology traditionally. If you remember that on December 14, 2020, the SSP faced sanctions from the US Department of State and Treasury under the CATSA, response to its acquisition of These sanctions prompted a strategic pivot in Turkey's procurement approach, redirecting its 5 F-16 fighter jets and kits application from the SSP to a direct request to the Pentagon via the Ministry of National Defense. This shift underscores a significant change in the US policy toward the Turkish army, affecting military and civilian exports under strict guidelines in a positive way. Turkey's recent plans to secure F-16s highlight the potential for more government-to-government contracts and adaptable military offset programs with the Western defense ecosystems, not only with the USA or UK, but also with the other NATO partners. As you know, that the latest development of F-16 procurement may lead to an extensive offset contracts with the Pentagon fostering further positive outcomes in military procurement between UK and Turkey, considering that the UK is another strategic partner. Now, you may have observed that at the international level, following Turkey's adjusted export control regimes, Canada's recent decision to resume weapon exports to Turkey, including drone technology, followed by the US approved F-16 sales in January 2024. This marks a significant development. However, it remains very crucial for both UK and Turkish companies, including SMEs in the defense industry, to comply with the export control regulations. Although under the partnership of the UK in the scope of export control, there could be more room for discussion compared to air fighter alternatives in the context of comprehensive military offset contracts, which could be in the domain of technology transfer, co-production, subcontracting, commercial partnerships, and others. I believe these negotiations could influence Turkey's procurement strategy for air fighters in the near future. But I agree that the Turkey's defense industry faces several challenges. Political tensions, such as those arising from Turkey's purchase of the Russian S-400 missile systems, have strained relations with the traditional allies like the United States and the NATO. Additionally, regional conflicts and economic issues, including currency instability and brain drain, pose significant hurdles. Despite these challenges, Turkey continues to pursue a balanced approach, maintaining its NATO commitments while exploring partnerships with other global entities like BRICS and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The Turkish government has implemented various regulatory measures to support the defense industry. For instance, SSP was brought under the office of the president to enhance efficiency and resource allocation. These efforts are a part of the broader strategy to ensure that the Turkish defense industry can sustain its growth and continue to contribute to the country's strategic autonomy and economic development. As Turkey navigates its complex geopolitical landscape, its defense policies will likely continue to evolve, balancing traditional alliances with new partnerships. Looking ahead, Turkey's defense industry is poised for continued growth and transformation. There are some predictions for the future. For example, increased self-reliance. Turkey will likely continue to invest heavily in its domestic defense capabilities, which includes developing advanced technologies such as unmanned air vehicles, missile systems, and cyber defense tools. There is a high probability of partnership in these types of projects between UK and Turkey. And as Turkey's defense products gain recognition for their quality and cost effectiveness, the country is expected to expand its export markets. The Turkish defense sector in the industry will likely focus on innovation, particularly in areas like artificial intelligence, robotics, and space technologies. Technology is also a vital domain for the partnerships between UK and Turkey. The Turkish government may introduce further economic and regulatory measures to support the defense industry. This could include incentives for research and development, streamlined procurement processes, and enhanced collaboration between the public and private sectors. This will also help the international players and especially the UK to enter into the Turkish market. So I would like to thank you very much, and special thanks to ADS for inviting me to such significant discussion. I hope this discussion is going to be very fruitful for the audience who are investing their time with us on this holiday day in Turkey. Thank you very much.
Very much appreciated. Thank you much for your time. Now moving on to Murad, who is the General Manager at the Expo itself. Thank you. Murad, can you hear us? Indeed, good.
Yes, can you hear me now?
We can indeed. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I want to say hello to all distinguished speakers and guests. I'm Murat Çakır, General Manager of Saha Expo. I would like to share some information about our cluster and Saha Expo. Can you see the Can you see the presentation?
We can as well, thank you.
Thank you. Saha Istanbul is the largest industrial cluster in Turkey. It's a defense and aerospace cluster found in 2015 with 27 members. Now, Saha Istanbul has over 1,200 member companies in 45 cities in Turkey, with 29 universities from 52 sectors are ranging in these members. We, as you can see, we grew pretty rapidly in years, 2015 to 2024, and it's now over 1,200 member companies. With these members have a manpower of over 69,000 people working in these member companies, with a turnover of over $10 billion, and 5 billion of this turnover is coming from exports. All of the large-sized companies in Turkey, the producers of for the defense sector, are in Saha Istanbul cluster, but most of the members are formed of small and mid-sized companies. We have offices in Istanbul, Ankara, Gaziantep, and Kahramanmaraş, and also we got offices in Baku, Azerbaijan, and Abu Dhabi. Saha Expo started in 2018 with a one whole small exhibition, but grew in 12 over mid-size exhibition in 2022 with the third edition. There were 390 international companies, 567 local companies, and altogether 957 participants at that exhibition. There were exhibitors and visitors from 109 countries, which are located in the map. Last edition was organized in 6 halls at Yeşilköy, Istanbul, 60,000 square meter closed area, and over 80,000 visitors. Last edition, we had 268 official delegations, 112 commercial delegations, and we organized over 18,000 B2B, B2G, and G2G meetings. As you know, Mr. Ben Wallace, UK Secretary of State for Defense, has also visited Saha Expo in 2022. There were 114 signing ceremonies, which resulted over $1 billion of exports, 2,081 product launches, and there were international panels and keynote speakers during the last edition. And the fourth edition of Saha Expo in 2024 will be organized between 22nd and 26th of October under the auspices of the Presidency of the Republic of Turkey. And there are 6 ministries also supporting this exhibition, including Minister of Defense, Minister of Interior, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Industry and Technology, Minister of Trade, and Minister of Transport and Infrastructure. As you can see, the growth in years, and in 2024, our targets are 80,000 square meter closed area and 10,000 square meters open area, altogether 90,000 square meters, and over 1,200 participants and over 150,000 visitors. This is a general map. If we look closely, we can see the main actors in Turkish industry, defense and aerospace industry, are here. The yellow ones are star sponsorships: Aselsan, Baykar, Asfat, Canik, TÜBİTAK, BMC, Sarsılmaz, Roketsan, Havelsan, STM, Otokar, Havatek, Turkish Aerospace will be at the show. And Hall 1 is mostly allocated to international pavilions, international companies. I will show you the country pavilions, which are located mostly in Hall 1. These are Azerbaijan, China, Czech Republic, France, India, Italy, Pakistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Korea, United Arab Emirates, UK, Ukraine, USA, and Vietnam. We have also a couple of companies from West Balkans as Balkans Pavilion, and we will guest NATO Diana companies during this edition for the first time. Yeah. And we have also industrial pavilions, which are specialized in these sectors. We have Space Pavilion, Test and Certification Pavilion, Software Pavilion, Cybersecurity Pavilion, and Artificial Intelligence Pavilion at the exhibition. These are some of the companies that will exhibit during the exhibition, including BAE Systems, Thales, NVIDIA, Leonardo, L3Harris, Navantia, Edge, and so on. We have also a specific program and specialized in B2Bs. We are our own program, actually. This is a platform that is designed to facilitate connections and collaborations between participants at SAHA Expo. The SAHA Match software allows participants to easily identify suitable manufacturers or potential customers and schedule meetings. At SAHA Expo, each international participant receives assistance from a SAHA matchmaker who will help organize and accompany meetings with other participants. So with this human touch, these B2B and B2G meetings are organized in a perfect manner. Thank you very much. This is all for the SAHA Expo 2024.
Very much appreciated. Thanks, Murad. Will that presentation be available for delegates afterwards if we were to PDF it and send it out?
Sure.
That's wonderful. Great. Many thanks. That's much appreciated. Okay, so you've got me just for the last bit. If you bear with me just a moment. I'm just going to briefly talk about the benefits of exhibiting on the UK Pavilion. We are indeed looking to do a UK Pavilion at the Expo. We are taking registrations of interest as it stands at the moment. I just wanted to briefly run through the benefits. So you'll have full access to ADS, the UK Pavilion lounge area, which will be part of the pavilion. This includes informal meeting space and hospitality facilities. We gain automatically enhanced exposure to the government delegation, high-ranking officials and decision makers, both before and during the actual Expo. There'll be a featured section in the tailor-made UK Pavilion brochure that is available on site. So we put that together ourselves in-house, and that will be available on site during the course of the exhibition. On-site visibility, exhibiting under the United Kingdom Pavilion, high branding. That is something that is fairly new to our pavilions now and does stand out at all the exhibitions that we go to, both nationally and internationally. There'll be a dedicated ADS event manager like myself to assist you with pre, on-site and post-event management, and access to any specific receptions that may occur surrounding the event that other exhibitors may not have access to at the time.
Use the stone scanning old radio.
So as part, this is the floor plan that we're proposing at the moment at the actual expo. This will be premium shell scheme booths. There'll be the high level branding that I mentioned to you in my bit earlier today. Carpet, walls with display surface, so you'll be able to actually order some graphics through our stand contractor. Just send over the artwork, they'll produce the graphics and place them on the walls for you before you arrive at the expo. There's the fascia board with your company name and stand number, some lighting, and also access to power also. So if you were interested in exhibiting with us, please drop us a line and we can send some more information as and when we come to launch the pavilion at the expo. Thank you very much for your time, much appreciated.